contrast the styles between David Ajabo and Adisa Isaac in terms of how they beat opponents and how they differ as pass rushers?
Actually, they're a lot alike in a lot of ways. They're both contact players. They're long, they're strong, they're physical at the point of attack. They have really good power at the top of their rush. And, you know, I think in a lot of ways they're alike. It's fun watching them go out there and compete.
Now, when you think about where a lot of the pass rushing guys at the start of camp, who's been the biggest surprise the last couple of weeks?
Biggest surprise? I would say just the fact that, you know, Mike Green, you know, really pops out on tape. He plays with kind of a relentless mindset. He's, you know, tenacious at the point of attack. I think you guys have seen it in the games. You know, his ability to kind of affect the play on pretty much every time he's in there. You know, he's going to set a violent edge, get pressure on the quarterback, and I really like where he's at right now.
You know,
my
Matt,
bad.
John brought up physicality when talking about Adisa, and you just said contact player for both him and David Ajabo. They also both have some difficult injuries in the last few years. Is it tough to kind of mentally get those guys back from injuries and being the physical players they can be? Are they sort of reaching a point where they're maybe over the hump of kind of getting their confidence back from injuries?
Definitely, I think they came in ready to play. Their lower half is starting to come back, and that allows them to play really strong at the point of attack. And I'm excited for how that's kind of developing right now. We saw it in the first game. We've been seeing it on the practice field, and I just can't wait to build off of it in Dallas.
Now we're talking to Tavius after you. Have you seen him add some sophistication to kind of his pass rush arsenal this year?
Yeah, he has. You know, he has a little bit. He's more of a physical presence. You know, he's a dominant edge setter for us, and then he's been more of a power rusher as of, you know, in his first couple years. But I think right now he's definitely working on some finesse moves on the edge that he can work in some of his transition rushes, and I think that'll be a nice piece, you know, to his game.
This is our first time talking to you. I know you've been here for 5 years, but how did you kind of get involved as a coaching fellow, and maybe, you know, were you always kind of on that trajectory, or was it a surprise that you kind of latched on with the Ravens the way that you did?
Yeah, I started coaching after I got done playing. I started coaching at a high school here at Spalding, and then moved on to UConn with Etzel, who was my coach, and then transitioned to Maryland. And then I got my wife actually was I'm really close friends with Drew Wilkins' wife, because they were both cheerleaders at Maryland, and that's kind of how I got connected here. And kind of I was really trying to, you know, while I was at Maryland, I was really trying to get a job here. I was trying to contact anybody that would kind of listen and you know, just give me an opportunity to come in and put my head down and work.
What's it been like to that point? What's it been like working with Chuck Smith? How has it kind of helped you along these last couple of years?
Yeah, Chuck has a great deal of knowledge, especially in the pass rush, and just the tools that he's been able to teach me, and the arsenal that he equips our guys with. It's fun to learn with him, and he has he played 8-9 years in the league, and it's great to hear those stories, and yeah, it's really nice working with Chuck.
We see Chuck has a little bit of intensity sometimes when he talks to us in the media, and obviously out in the field too. Does he keep you on your toes a little bit with his passion and competitiveness?
Yeah, no, we go at it a little bit. You know, it's all fun, but you know, he's a competitive guy, and he just wants to bring the best out of our players, and I think we all want that. So it's great.
Matt, similar to the earlier question of Tavius, what have you seen so far at David Ajabo in terms of those next steps that he needs to take?
Yeah, really, just in the game, really want him to affect the game in kind of different ways, whether it's, you know, setting a dominant edge, being a physical player, getting pocket push, and then getting his body on the quarterback. And I think we saw him take steps towards that in the game, and he has a couple more opportunities to kind of prove that going forward.
You know, watching Tavius, I think not one-on-one, but take on Charlie Kohler when he's kind of lined up in that line spot. What is it like? What would you kind of say Tavius brings to that position in terms of when he sees that it's a run, he knows it's coming his way? I mean, like, how hard is it for opposing tight ends to match up with him physically?
You know, it's awesome to watch, because I usually know what the result's going to be. You know, I think he's going to, you know, really put his hands on people, get knocked back, change the line of scrimmage, force ball carriers to bounce, or he's going to end up making a play. I know the inside linebackers like playing behind him because he's going to change the line of scrimmage in front of them, and usually it turns out good for the Ravens.
You've seen a lot of battles between him and Charlie Fuller. I guess how have you seen the two of them kind of push each other through the past few years?
That's been great to watch because Charlie's gotten a hell of a lot better just over the course of these years and as an inline blocker. And I think going against our guys, it continues, iron sharpens iron. So the, competitive drills that we do at practice, I think lead to, great results in the game because we have a tremendous amount of talent on both sides of the ball. So watching those guys compete, it's awesome to see.
Matt, you've been around OA for years now. I mean, obviously much was made when we first saw him come out for the summer about the bulk that he added. He's talked to us about it. Do you think we're going to see different elements in his game this year? We'll see a more forceful kind of version of him, or what's your sense of that?
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that he's changed his body, I think he's out to – the sky's the limit for him. And I think he's out to prove that he's, a top, 5, top 10 edge guy in the league. And, putting him on that extra mass is going to allow him, I think, to take on the wear and tear as the season goes on. Withstand kind of that and still be a dominant player down the stretch. And, I'm excited for him. And, I'm looking forward to kind of, how he comes out.
These last friends at Penn State, everyone has talked about. I guess how have you seen that relationship play out here? Has Adisa picked up things from Odafe? What are they like together?
They're always joking, and they're always. I think Adisa's always trying to be in his hip pocket a little bit. Pick up what he can, and they're a little bit of different players at the point of attack at times. But I really like. Their relationship is cool to see, and the fact that the same thing with Ja and Doff. It's cool to have guys who grew up playing with each other. I think that relationship, helps them when they're out there. They can trust each other, and it's cool to watch.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.